You're sitting at a red light on a Tuesday morning, same commute, same lane. Same song on the radio you've already heard 3 times this week. You glance to your left, brand new SUV. To your right, freshly financed sedan, temporary plates still on. You look down at your own dashboard. That little payment reminder pops up on your phone. $748. Due Friday. You tap the steering wheel and think, this is just what cars cost now. And here's the thing that will haunt you once you hear it. That car you're sitting in right now is quietly, mathematically guaranteeing that you will work for someone else for the rest of your life. Not because you can't afford it, but because of what it is silently destroying in the background while you drive it. My name is Foxy, and I spend way too much time doing the math that the car industry really hopes you never do. If you're someone who has ever felt like you're earning decent money but somehow never getting ahead, make sure to subscribe. Today, I need to give you a name for what's happening to your money. I call it the car anchor effect. Think of it like this. Imagine you're swimming in the ocean, trying to reach an island in the distance. That island is financial freedom. A house you actually own. Retirement before your body breaks down. Maybe just the ability to say no to a job you hate. Now imagine someone hands you a brand new, shiny, beautiful anchor and tells you to hold on to it while you swim. Don't worry, they say. Everyone carries one. It's normal. That anchor is your car payment. And the reason I call it an anchor and not just an expense is because it doesn't just slow you down. It pulls you backwards. It actively drags you further from that island every single month. And the financial industry, the dealerships, the banks, they are counting on you never realizing exactly how heavy that anchor actually is. By the end of this video, you will know the exact dollar amount your car is really costing you. Not the sticker price, not the monthly payment, the real number. The one that made me physically uncomfortable the first time I calculated it. And I'll show you the simple math that can turn that anchor into a rocket. Let me take you back to a moment in American history that changed everything. In 1919, General Motors did something that had never been done before. They created a company called GMAC, the General Motors Acceptance Corporation. Its entire purpose was to let people who could not afford a car buy one anyway. Before that, if you wanted a car, you saved up and paid cash. Period. Cars were expensive, and people treated them like what they are, a depreciating machine. But General Motors had a problem. They had more cars than buyers, so instead of lowering prices, they invented a new system. Don't worry about the full price, they said. Just pay a little each month. And it worked. It worked so well that by the 1950s, financing a car was no longer the exception, it was the norm. The entire American middle class was built on borrowed payments. Here's what's wild. A study published by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York found that total auto loan balances in the United States have now reached $1.67 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Americans collectively owe more on car loans than they do on credit cards. And Experian's automotive data from this year shows that the average monthly payment for a new car in America is now $748 a month. For a used car, it's $532 a month. Let me put those numbers into context. The average auto loan for a new car is now $42,332. The average loan term? 69 months. That's almost 6 years of payments for a machine that starts losing value the moment you sign the paperwork. And the interest rates? The average rate on a new car loan is 6.56%. But here's where it gets really painful. If your credit isn't excellent, if you're buying used, the average interest rate jumps to 11.4%. 11.4. This isn't an accident. This is a system that was deliberately designed over 100 years ago to make you comfortable with permanent payments. General Motors didn't just sell cars. They sold the idea that monthly payments are normal. And we bought it. We all bought it. Now, Let's do the math that nobody at the dealership will ever show you. I want you to follow this carefully because these numbers are going to change how you see your car payment forever. Let's start with what most people think their car costs. You buy a new car. The average price, according to Experian, is around $42,000. You finance it at the average rate of 6.56% for 69 months. Your monthly payment is $748. Okay, so over 69 months, you're paying $748 times 69. That equals $51,612. You borrowed $42,000. You're paying back almost $52,000. Right there, nearly $10,000 in pure interest went directly to the bank. Gone. Evaporated. You'll never see that money again. But it gets worse. Let's talk about what your car is doing while you're paying it off. A new car loses roughly 20% of its value in the first year alone. 20%! So that $42,000 car? After 12 months of proudly parking it in your driveway, it's worth about $33,600. You lost $8,400 in value in 1 year. That's $700 a month in depreciation. So your $748 payment is going toward an asset that is bleeding $700 a month in value at the same time. You are literally running on a treadmill facing backward, but I am not done yet. Because the car payment itself is just the tip of the anchor. Let me show you what your car actually costs you every month when you add in the things nobody talks about at the lot. According to AAA's annual study, the average cost of car insurance with full coverage is about $2,000 a year. That's $167 a month. Gas. The average American spends about $2,450 a year on fuel. That's roughly $204 a month. Maintenance and repairs. Tires, oil changes, brake pads. That weird noise that starts around month 14, the average is about $1,200 a year. That's $100 a month. Now, let's add this up. Your actual monthly car cost, $748 for the payment, plus $167 for insurance, plus $204 for gas, plus $100 for maintenance. That equals $1,219. Every single month. Let me put this differently. If you earn $50,000 a year, your take-home pay after taxes is roughly $38,000. Divide that by 12, and you're bringing home about $3,167 a month. Your car just consumed 38% of your take-home pay. Almost 4 out of every $10 you earn goes to a machine that is worth less every single day you own it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Foxy, but I need a car. I need to get to work. This is just the cost of living. And you're right, you do probably need a car. I am not here to tell you to sell your car and ride a bicycle in the snow. That's not realistic. But here's the question nobody asks. Do you need that car? Do you need the $42,000 car? Or would a reliable $12,000 used car, paid for in cash or with a much smaller loan, have gotten you to the same office, in the same amount of time, on the same road? Because that is where the car anchor effect lives, not in the choice to own a car, in the choice of which car, and how you pay for it. Let me show you the math that genuinely kept me up at night. But it gets worse. Because we haven't even talked about the biggest cost of all, the one that's completely invisible. Let's say instead of buying that $42,000 car, you buy a reliable used car for $12,000. You took a small loan of $8,000 and paid it off in 2 years. Your monthly payment was about $350 for 24 months. After that, zero. No more payment. For years. Now, let's compare two people. Person A buys new. $748 a month for 69 months. Then, because that's what we do in America, they trade it in and buy another new car. Another 70 months of payments. They will pay a car payment from age 25 to age 65. 40 years of monthly car payments. That is the norm. Person B buys a practical used car, pays it off in 2 years, then takes the difference between what person A is paying and what they're paying, which is now $748 a month since their car is paid off, and puts it into a basic index fund earning roughly 10% a year, which is the historical average of the S&P 500. Now follow this closely. $748 a month. Invested every month for 30 years. Year 1, you invest $8,976. Your balance grows to about $9,400. Year 5, you've invested about $45,000, but with compound interest, your balance is now around $58,000. Year 10, you've put in about $90,000. Your balance has grown to roughly $153,000. Year 20, you've invested around $180,000 out of pocket. But your account? It's sitting at around $570,000. The interest is now earning more than you're putting in. Year 30. You've invested $269,000 of your own money, but your account has ballooned to over $1.8 million. $1.8 million. From a car payment, person A, who bought new every 6 years, spent approximately $450,000 on car payments over that same 30 years. $450,000 to the bank, to the dealership, to depreciation, and they have nothing to show for it except a car worth maybe $8,000. Person B is a millionaire. Same salary, same job, same city, same roads. The only difference was which car they drove and what they did with the leftover money. That is the car anchor effect. And for everyone who just thought, well, 10% returns aren't guaranteed, you're right. Some years the market is up, some years it's down. But let me run this with a more conservative number. Let's say 7% instead of 10. $748 a month at 7% for 30 years still gives you over $901,000. Even at the conservative estimate, you're looking at almost $1 million. Versus $450,000 gone. That's $1,400,000 difference in life outcomes. From a car, this isn't financial advice. This is arithmetic, and arithmetic doesn't have an opinion. I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but my situation is different. Here's what the car anchor effect actually means for your life. Right now, today. Let's say you're 28 years old. You just financed a new car. Maybe you got a good deal, maybe you didn't, but your payment is somewhere around $700 a month. You've done this once before, and you'll probably do it 2 or 3 more times before you retire. Here's what that means in real, tangible life terms. That car payment is the reason you can't max out your retirement contributions. That car payment is the reason you have less than $1,000 in your emergency fund. And by the way, nearly 40% of American adults can't cover a $400 emergency, according to the Federal Reserve. 40%. That's not laziness. That's the car anchor effect, and expenses like it, eating every spare dollar before you can save it. That car payment is the reason you feel a wave of panic every time your boss sends a meeting invite with no subject line. Because you can't afford to lose this job. Not because you don't have skills, but because you are chained to a monthly obligation that doesn't care if you're happy, healthy, or burning out. And here's the really twisted part. Do you know what one of the top reasons is for people being underwater on their car loans? According to Edmunds, 28% of people who trade in their car owe more than the car is worth. An average of nearly $7,000 more. So they roll that negative equity into their next car loan. They're starting their next loan already drowning. This is not a one-time mistake. This is a cycle. Buy a car you can't really afford. Watch it lose value faster than you pay it down. Owe more than it's worth. Trade it in. Roll the debt into a new loan. Start even deeper in the hole. Repeat until retirement or repossession. And in 2024 alone, 1.73 million cars were repossessed in the United States. Subprime auto loan delinquency rates hit 6.9% last year. That's the highest level in over 30 years. The system is not broken. It is working exactly as designed. The car industry needs you to believe that a $700 monthly car payment is just the cost of transportation. Because the moment you stop believing that, their entire business model falls apart. So here's what to do about it. Actual steps. Starting this week. Step 1. This weekend, pull up your car loan details. Every one of them. Write down 4 numbers. The remaining balance, the interest rate, the monthly payment, and the current market value of your car. You can check the value on Kelley Blue Book in about 30 seconds. If your balance is higher than your car's value, you are underwater. You need to know this. Step 2. Calculate your true monthly car cost, not just the payment. Add insurance, add gas, add average maintenance. Write down the total. For most people, this number is going to be somewhere between $1,000 and $1,300 a month. That number should make you feel something. Let it. Step 3. This month, make a decision about your next car. Not today, but when your current loan ends. Commit now that your next vehicle will cost no more than $15,000, purchased used, and ideally in cash or with a loan under 24 months. This single decision will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars before you retire. I'm not exaggerating. You've seen the math. Step 4. This quarter, open a brokerage account if you don't have one and set up an automatic monthly transfer, even if it's just $100 to start. The key word is automatic. If you have to think about it every month, you won't do it. Make it invisible. Make it non-negotiable. When your car is paid off, increase that automatic transfer by the amount of your old car payment. That's the moment the car anchor effect flips from destroying your wealth to building it. Step 5. Redefine what a car means in your life. A car is not a status symbol. A car is not your identity. A car is a tool. A refrigerator keeps your food cold. A car gets you from point A to point B. Nobody brags about their refrigerator. The moment you internalize this, you are free. You have removed the anchor. Remember that red light from the beginning? You. Sitting in your car. $748 payment due Friday. The people on either side of you in their shiny new rides. Here's what you know now that they don't. Every one of those cars is an anchor. And the people driving them have no idea how heavy it is because they've been carrying it so long they think it's just the weight of normal life. But it's not normal. Paying $450,000 over your lifetime for something that is always worth less than what you owe on it, that is not normal. That is a trap designed in 1919, perfected over 100 years, and sold to every generation since as just how things work. Now you know the car anchor effect. You've seen the math. You understand that the difference between you and a millionaire might not be your salary, your education, or your luck. It might just be your car payment. So the next time you're sitting at that red light, glancing at the brand new SUV next to you, you won't feel envy. You'll feel something else. You'll feel like the only person at that intersection who actually knows where their money is going. And that is worth more than any new car smell. If this video changed how you think about your next car purchase, subscribe. Not for me. For the version of you 10 years from now who will look back at this moment and say, that's when everything changed. I'll see you in the next one.